kind of yields we looking at right here now?
Right now the monitor says 256.
Does that make you smile?
Yeah, that feels pretty good. My name is Tim Martin and I'm from Clay Center, Kansas.
I'm Scott Johnson from Grid, Iowa, north central Iowa.
My name is James Mazer. We're in western Nebraska, about 5 miles east of Scotts Bluff.
I'm Ron Cheddar, and my address is Carpenter, a big town of 6 people.
My name is David Virgin. We're located here in Linden, Indiana.
Michael Taylor in Helena, Arkansas.
I'm Bob Rickley in Murdock, Nebraska.
Paul Damoff from Wilmer, Minnesota.
My name is Dave Ruprecht. We're here in Vassar, Michigan at Zwerk and Sons Farms.
I'm Dave Paring at Weldon, Illinois.
My mainline company did not have the corn-head I was quite satisfied with. So I knew what I wanted. I started researching, and that's when I found Drago.
Well, I had talked to some other neighbors that were owners of the Drago, and they were very pleased with the reliability and the way that the Drago worked.
Farmers are kind of a funny bunch, you know, when it comes to that. They like to hear it directly from another farmer.
Hands down, the spring-loaded stripper plates, it was the Cadillac of the corn-head.
The big thing is adjusting deck plates. We have a lot of sand blows, and if we do not adjust our deck plates, we get a lot of header shatter.
It's very neat because you don't have to worry about it. It's taking care of itself with them self-adjusting plates. It's one less worry we have to worry about.
I like the not having to worry about the deck plates. Our corn goes anywhere from 230 bushel to 70 in one pass, and there's just no, you just can't make up for that. I don't see much loss on the ridges. You know, we're furrow irrigated a lot, so you can see the corn dribble down into the ditches if you have a lot of header losses, and I just don't see them on this head like I was seeing with my other heads. And it's no worries. I just drive and relax and watch it work.
With hydraulic deck plates, you you constantly are subject to setting them, and you always wonder whether you've got them spaced right, too tight, too wide, and so that was one of the interesting features about the Drago, is that it did that automatically.
There's no way a person can set those hydraulic deck plates as you go through the field. If you have a low spot and the stalks are twice as big, and then you get to some high ground and they're half the size, you just can't do that. And if that deck plate isn't right next to the stalk, you have a lot of shatter.
And we did harvest side by side. We used to run 2 combines. I had my Drago, and then I was running an 8-row with just preset deck plates, and you can definitely see the difference in header loss running side by side.
I did have some other people tell me that, hey, there's too many moving parts to wear out, and there isn't. I have yet to replace any parts on that spring-loaded deck plates. You just got to obey the instructions, grease it like you should, and you won't have trouble with them. There's no wear whatsoever on that deck plate.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 of us that operate it, and we like the fact that it's a header that we can put anybody in the machine. They don't have to worry about adjusting the deck plates.
I haven't had to mess with hydraulic deck plates for 4 years now. I don't want to go back there again.
Well, in down corn, I think the stripper plates really play an important part, so you're not adjusting them all the time, and it just really brings the ears in and feeds well in through the head.
We had a storm a year ago that pretty well flattened some of the hybrids that we had, and if we had not had the Drago, I can guarantee you we'd have lost probably 30 to 50 bushel an acre that we were able to pick up with the Drago. There was places that you absolutely could not see the corn rows, and with the Drago we were able to get down underneath the stalks and lift up the stalks and the ear completely, and it did a tremendous job.
Yesterday we were combining our corn. It was probably 50% down in spots. We had some root rot issues, and it just seemed to feed right in. Picked it up really well. I didn't see too many ears laying outside of ones that maybe break off. So we have all kinds of harvest conditions around here on a yearly basis. We range from everything's standing perfect. There's always a field that's blowing over or wind damage, so it's good to see that head working that well.
And I've had the privilege to operate it since 2007, as we have saved a lot of grain on it. You can really tell when you go out and you work the stalks and that stuff starts growing, anything that you left out there in the field. And we have probably less than anybody, and really contributed toward the operation of the head, really did.
When we went through the sand blows under the John Deere head, you would find the complete ears where it was pulling them through and just complete header shatter. And with the Drago, we did not find any of that.
Very little loss at the header anymore. We had more header loss with our other corn-head that we had previously, but with the Drago corn-head, it's almost minimal. You almost have to really look to find anything.
We prefer to take it off at that 18 to 19%. We think that's where it harvests the best. We get the least amount of shelling coming off the cob. And when we did our checks behind the header after running the corn head across, we saw very little, if any, butt shelling whatsoever. Hardly any header loss, almost zero header loss. We were real impressed with the job it did pulling the ear off the stalk. Very impressed with the way it handled the cob, feeding the cob into the auger and into the machine. Just very smooth, very quiet, very nice operating corn head.
The reason I farm is to sell corn, and I want as many kernels as I can in the combine to maximize my profitability. Chopping stocks comes second.
I traded for the chopping units underneath. Felt that it was time to do something with that extra stalk that we're seeing in the field, get rid of that residue, and it does a nice job of cutting that up.
The quality of the stalk coming out the bottom is fantastic, chopped up into small enough pieces that you can manage it with a ripper or with a field cultivator. All in all, we were just very well satisfied with it.
The greener the stalk, the better the job it does. This year we had a killing frost real early. The stalks are bone dry. It still is doing a tremendous job chopping. I mean, we're pulling the moldboard plows across without any problems.
The knife-to-knife rollers on this are amazing. You know, granted, this is a new field, but this corn right here, it's running about 19 moisture. Kind of green stalks for us, and it is really chewing them up really well.
The whole reason I went to the knife-to-knife was there's actually value, and there's a sliding, we call it a sliding window. So, you know, there's time that stalk can feed through when it's doing its knife-to-knife, whereas your old standard intermesh, you know, they just wouldn't feed properly and prematurely break off on you.
Well, the Drago head really does a nice job of picking clean, so it doesn't have a lot of excess trash go through it, and that way you get more capacity out of your machine.
I've got an 8120 Case International combine, and we run a 12-row Drago head on it, and it seems to be very compatible. I don't overload the combine, and the combine's heavy enough that it can handle the head very well.
We've got a John Deere rotor combine. We're running an 830 Drago Corn-head on it. The two make a good match. They really do. You can run in regular corn. Traditionally, we're running 5 miles an hour.
My first head, I had it on both 2388 and 12-row 30. It was on a 2388 first, and then we put it on an 8010. We did the faceplate conversion, which was very cheap. I didn't have to trade my head when I was completely changing a model. We bought the faceplate and put it on and changed the gears. That was kind of a unique feature for the Drago, and it allowed us to maintain our head for 5 or 6 years and not have to trade it off when we traded combine. When I put the head on this 8010 the first year, I had a new feeder house chain. It was set pretty far back on the drum, and I had a little bit too much of a gap between the auger and the drum of the feeder house. And I put in, must have been a link and a half, and stretched it out till it was coming out, protruding a little bit out of the faceplate of the combine. And then I put in the modified, the lift blocks that lift the drum up. And last year we had great luck. We were able to run at full capacity speed, which for us was about anywhere from 5 to 6 miles an hour with 12 rows, and in a corn ranging from 165 to 225. we were very pleased with the performance last year. Probably the best ever for feeding wise. And don't get me wrong, our conditions are never favorable for feeding. We're usually running 14.5 to 15 moisture, zero humidity out here at all. We're lucky to get any frost in the morning to make it tough. So we just kind of have to deal every day with really trashy conditions.
You always hear that they're built like a brick house, and I thought, you know what, the head's got 10,000 acres on it, I'm going to throw another 10,000 on it and see what it can do. And it 20,000 acres on the Corn-head, very, very doable.
We put 10 to 12,000 on that first Drago. I just traded for this one, and that's why I bought another one. And there was zero problems with the first head. We had a great run with it. I can honestly say I never did anything but tighten the chains annually and grease it up and regular maintenance. It was phenomenal.
I think this is our 4th year with this head, and I've been pleased with it. I haven't had any serious breakdown whatsoever on it. We haven't had to put any bearings in. No, I haven't put snap and roll knives or chains on it yet. I probably need to next year, but it's been very durable.
Have had absolutely no problems with the Corn-head.
Nothing, not a thing has been replaced on this head. And that even blows my mind, because usually a bearing's out. Maybe it's because I got a few spare bearings around that kept them from going out.
So far, since the 2007 when we purchased this, we have done nothing to that Corn-head except grease it and keep it maintained that way. Of course, in the fall we clean it up, and all of our equipment's cleaned and put away that way. But we haven't done anything to that Corn-head except just to lubricate it. That's it.
Things around here have to be bulletproof. I mean, when you're running, this year we're going to run 2,700 acres of corn through it, nonstop. I need a pretty tough head.
It goes back to maintenance. As long as you're going to spend time, as long as you grease it, maintain it, I mean, they're bulletproof.
Well, since we've had the Drago, we've probably put 6,000 or 7,000 acres of corn through it, and so it served us well. It has.
We cut 770 acres in 4 days with the Drago Corn-head. You can cut a lot more than you can haul off.
We love the way it runs. It's smooth, it's quiet. We love the fact that the knife rolls run fairly slow. They pull that stock through nice and slow. We get very little butt shelling. We do like the chop quality.
You look at return on investment. If you're dropping money down on a Corn-head and know that you can get 20,000 acres through it, what is your actual cost per acre going to be on that Corn-head? And it's very reasonable, very reasonable.
One of my best investments for getting my use out of it with minimal repairs.
Of all the equipment I've ever had, I've never had something that is trouble-free as this here head has been for me.
It's been a very dependable piece of equipment for us. It really has.
For the investment that you're going to make, you cannot go wrong. I don't think there's a head that'll give you as great a return on investment as what Dragos will. Resale value, corn savings. It's just a win-win situation, and that's what pays the bills is your return on investment.
It's been dependable. I know it saved us money. It's performed well. It continues to perform well, and like I say, we haven't spent any money on it. We haven't spent a dime on it, and we keep waiting for something to wear out, but it hasn't done it yet.
I just said, how long do you want to own your head is kind of my big thing. If you're a guy that doesn't like to keep stuff around very long, you might be wasting your money buying a Drago. But if you like to buy stuff and get your full money out of it, keep it on your farm for 5, 6, 7 years, you won't have a problem with one of these.
Longevity, if you can get 20,000 acres out of a Corn-head, that's very well in my opinion. Longevity. Return on investment.
That's my Drago.
We love it. Buy one.
my Drago.